Thanks for staying with us. Unemployment, the condition of one who is capable of working, actively seeking work, but unable to find work, is no stranger to us here in Nigeria. With a population of over 200 million who are predominantly young and able, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, in a report released in March, reported the country's unemployment rate rose from 27.1% in the second quarter of 2020 to 33.3% in the fourth quarter. The impact of unemployment can be felt by both the workers and the national economy and can cause a ripple effect. Unemployment causes workers to suffer financial hardship that impacts consumer spending, which is one of the key economic drivers of growth. Unemployment results in reduced demand, consumption, and buying power, which in turn causes lower profits for businesses and leads to budget cuts and workforce reductions. It creates a vicious cycle that goes on and on. That is difficult to reverse without some type of intervention. So today, our focus is on those interventions, in particular what the Lagos State government is doing to alleviate unemployment. So, ladies, unemployment.
I think this conversation is very important because I was in a space conversation. Now, space is Twitter's version of Clubhouse, where someone was accusing Nollywood movies of being one of the reasons that people are flocking into Lagos State, because your storyline tells you when you come to Lagos, you've made it, right? Yeah. So you carry your bag and then you come to Lagos. So Lagos is really populated. I don't know if I want to use overpopulated, but employment is important. Right, people need to be able to be gainfully employed. We're just talking about employment, not even being gainfully employed right now. So it's a big deal. I mean, you took the story about Ngige trying to talk about the statistics, but whatever the World Bank is going to say to NBS, I don't think the statistic is going to be good or
it's not going to be accurate.
Yeah. I hope, even if it's accurate, because I'm all for having accurate statistics, because however you want to look at it, it also helps them when they want to work to do the right thing in all areas. That's why we need to get our data right, NIN, drama, and everything, so we can synchronize everything to be able to say, so these people, this set of people are working here, this set of people are not working here. I don't think Nigeria can even tell you the number of those that are unemployed, because you don't know the number of people.
Can you tell you the number of people that are in Nigeria, for starters?
Thank you. Let's not go far. So that's how I feel.
Let me quickly.
Okay, for me, I think it's very, very crucial at this time because of the tension, particularly in the country.
The effects we're feeling.
From everywhere, from all the regions of Nigeria. You know, at a point, we were still like Southeast was safe, Southwest was relatively safe, but now I think it's just cutting across everywhere. Yeah. And the number one thing is unemployment. So I think we need
a lot of idle hands.
Because it's tied to everything. It's tied to our mental health. It's tied to security. It's tied to poverty. Quality of life. So I think it's very imperative that we talk about it.
Yeah. So you've heard what we have to say. So let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Tweet at us at WasteShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WasteShow, or SMS to WhatsApp, or WhatsApp to 0810-0818-038. 4063. So, the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund was established by the Lagos State Employment. The Lagos State Employment Trust Fund was established by Lagos State Employment Trust Fund law in 2016 to provide financial support for residents of Lagos State for job, wealth creation, and to tackle unemployment. The Lagos State government has disclosed its plans to create 600,000 jobs in 2021 through the LSETF initiative. And our guest, Charles Anyanwu, who is the Director of Strategy, Funding, and Stakeholder Management at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, is here with us to discuss this. So thank you for joining us, Charles. It's lovely to have you here.
Same here.
So it's interesting. I've seen LSETF. I have a lot of friends who are entrepreneurs who have gone through one program or the other. Could you maybe just start us off by telling us what the program and the fund is about?
Thank you very much. Just like you established, it was birthed by the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund Act of 2016 to do exactly what you said. Now, how do we achieve this? We looked at it from a different angle. Most times people tend to want to provide employability training programs and then place people in jobs. We do that as well. But one of the things that we do differently is providing affordable access to finance to micro, small, medium-scale enterprises. Why do we go this route? We felt that if these businesses grow all over the world, they are recognized as creators of jobs, and so if we help these businesses grow, then they can automatically employ more people, as opposed to trying to funnel people into existing businesses that probably couldn't take any more. And so with the loan program, what we also tried to do was to address the barriers to access to finance, interest rates, collateral, all of these things. We did away with them. And so we use a guarantor-based system, and we also offer loans at 5% interest rate per annum when we offer those loans ourselves directly. Recently, we started to partner with commercial institutions, lending institutions, commercial banks, microfinance banks, etc. When we started this program, what we tried to do was to establish that given the right conditions, these businesses are able to take loans and repay the loans. So we took the first step, used our funds to demonstrate this, and subsequently we are now getting in commercial lenders coming to partner. Of course, cost of capital will determine interest rates at the end of the day. So with some of the interventions that we do with the commercial lending partners, we try as much as possible to keep it within a single-digit interest rate. We're not always successful, but the highest we've got at the moment is 10%, which is not too far from our target.
Not too far from 5%.
Not too far from single-digit, which would be 9%. Yeah. So even at 5%, you will agree with me that it's not sustainable, because if you look at the inflation rate, it's double-digit at this time. So it's essentially, we just needed to take that step to demonstrate. Now the next step is to pipeline them to those who were established to do just that, provide access to finance, which is commercial lending institutions.
So I like how you said, given the right conditions.
Yes.
So what are the conditions Lagos State is creating to ensure that these businesses, whether small or medium-sized, can at least grow and not die before they can at least get you your money back and the 5% or 10%, as the case would be?
Excellent. So beyond the loan, we have other interventions for these businesses. So we have access to market programs that we design, and we also look out for off-takers depending on the sector. So we're also sector agnostic. So as a government, we are inclusive, and so we look at these businesses from what specific sectors they are in, cluster them, and look out for interventions that can support them to grow. So that's from an access to market perspective. We also provide capacity development for the promoters of the business as well. So your typical business 101, because a lot of these people get into business sometimes by chance and all of that. So you have to help them to see that there's a need for structure. And this is one of the reasons why they are unable to access capital from the banks in the first place. So you support them with those kinds of interventions. We have a mentoring program as well, where we get other successful entrepreneurs to work with them and to help them think through their businesses differently. And then we also are now looking at master classes. So for businesses or promoters who are slightly more advanced, they don't need entrepreneurship 101 anymore. They have peculiar issues with their business, and then they want capacity development in that area. We also have business clinics for accounting, we have business clinics for legal, we have business clinics for HR. To support these areas are very, very important for helping these businesses to sort of institutionalize the work that they do. So these are the areas where we provide additional interventions to ensure that the money goes in and comes back out.
Okay, how do you determine the parameters for the beneficiaries?
Okay, so what is key for us as a state government operating with taxpayers' funds is that the proprietors of the business, as well as the business, is located here in Lagos. And so all of the businesses that we support are Lagos-based business, as the case may be. In looking out to reduce the barriers, like we said, so we're looking at, rather than request for collateral, we ask for guarantors. And most times we work with their associations. There's a certain level of accountability that exists within those associations that they are already members. So there's a collective responsibility to ensure that you don't give the association a bad name. So when you work through associations, the tendency to have successful repayment is higher than when you work with individual borrowers, as the case may be. So we also have liaison offices in all of the local government areas across Lagos State as a touch point for these businesses. So we monitor through those offices, but we also provide support services through those offices as well. So these are some of the things that, of course, from a more commercial perspective, we will do a credit assessment of the obligor to ensure that they don't have bad credit before we offer them. Of course, that is also mandated by CBN, so you cannot give a loan without having a credit assessment for the obligor. So those are some of the things that we do. Now, when we give or when we partner, either which way, we work with commercial banks or microfinance banks. When we give loans directly as LSETF, the banks are our fulfillment partners, so they help us with the disbursements. And so they also have certain checks. You have to open an account, so there's KYC that is done to ensure that this is who they say they are. Prior to that, we also have business development support partners that do the first level business verification. So the documents that you submit, we want to verify those documents, we want to verify your address, all of those things. So when we do that as a first level check, and then the banks do their KYC, we're most likely giving money to somebody who actually is doing what they claim to be doing when they fill the forms. So that's how we ensure.
Which is a huge problem in this part of the world.
Exactly.
So I'd like to ask, because I see outside of Nigeria, most times when startups and businesses are given funding, there's always some sort of moratorium, because there's an understanding that the business needs time to find its feet and grow. Mm-hmm. But it's never a thing that we do here. Is there a particular reason or challenge?
So we actually do offer moratorium,
okay.
LSETF, and it's on a case-by-case basis. Over time, research has proven that most micro businesses fail to repay when there is a moratorium. Right. However, when we are talking or when we're working with SMEs, especially those in specific sectors, if you look at agriculture, their repayment is not straightforward because you have to work with production, etc., etc. So we offer maximum of 3-month moratorium at LSETF, so between 0 to 3, depending on.
So I'm just going to stop you there. Just take a quick break. We'll just take a quick break, and we'll be right back to continue the conversation. Please stay with us.